Welcome back, Thrivers. We are going to talk about how to grow a full plate of food in less than 90 days in 7 simple steps. Step 1 actually doesn't start in the garden. It starts in the kitchen. What is it that you like to eat? That's what you've got to start. What I eat, what you eat may be different. You want to pick a meal, basic meal that you eat often, that have simple ingredients. You don't want something that's got 20, 30 ingredients. It's likely that you won't be able to cook all of those things to start with. What I recommend, if you're really beginner, start with a salad. Something that has maybe a couple of types of lettuce or leaves. You've got some herbs, you've got tomato, cucumber, maybe capsicum if you want to go a bit fancy. And that is a great start for your first full plate of food. That was my first full plate of food. I grew a salad, and when that finally happened, it was amazing. Every few weeks I'd get a bit more. I can take some leaves, I can take some tomatoes, and the final piece was the cucumber for me. And when I could complete that salad, there was nothing like that in the world, knowing that it doesn't matter what happens outside, I know I can feed myself now. This is a real special moment. The tomato I grew, the cucumber I grew, the kale, mustard, lettuce, the spring onion, absolutely everything in here I grew. This is a full salad. A full salad. I am so stoked. So I recommend you can start with a salad, stir fry, or soup, and you could actually do all 3 if you have enough space, and in less than 90 days have a plate each of those. So that's the first thing. Step 1, pick your recipe and list the ingredients. Let's go to step 2. Step 2, you've got your list of ingredients. Now it's time to do a little bit of research. What you want to do is list out each ingredient: lettuce, tomato, cucumber, all of those things. Then what you want to do is you want to answer these questions. What type of soil does it need? When is it the best to plant? Is it spring, autumn, winter, summer? What are the temperatures? So you want to see if it actually can be grown in your area. How much water to give. And the bonus, what you can grow it with, companion plant, and what not to grow it with. Now, for those of you in my community, I actually have the whole plant database with all that information available for you to search. But if not, you can just go online, search all of those things. You might have to go to a few places just to find all the information you need. But once you've got that, you're going to have that database, that sheet, ready to go to do step 3. Let's have some tomato first. Actually, I'm going to give this to Haley and over in step 3. Haley, you're looking really good today. Here you go, have a tomato. Why, thank you, Haley. She's good looking too. All right, so we're up to step 3. Step 3 is now you've got your list of all the ingredients and how to grow them. You're going to draw out a map of your garden, whether it's a long raised bed, maybe it's quite a lot of pots, maybe it's just the side of your garden. You're going to draw that out, and with the information you have about spacing, how far apart it is, about what you can plant it with or not, and you're going to start to draw in where you're going to plant. Things you want to think about are not stressing too much. This can get overwhelming, especially for a new beginner. What I want to say is, don't worry if you get it wrong. Even if you plant something next to something that doesn't normally go together, what you want to do is just observe and see what happens. The point here is to do the thing. Get started and make it happen. Dedicate a time on the weekend or on a Saturday to do this process and really enjoy it. Don't worry about it. I want you to go for like a C+. I don't want you to have to get it perfect or A+. I just want you to make sure that you do a rough go, get it in the garden, and then we're going to see what happens after that. Now that you've drawn the garden, the next step to do is to prepare the garden. Let me eat this first. Oh, here's some lettuce. Let's give this to Haley over in step 4. Thanks for this, Haley. All right, so the next step is preparing the soil. So right now you can see here this soil has a bit dry and it's not quite covered yet. So what we need to do is we're going to be adding a layer of compost on top of this, then covering it with a mulch, whether it's a woody mulch, bit of hay, straw. Make sure it's organic so it's not killing the soil inside. You can, if you want to be more advanced, you can use things like comfrey to create a beautiful compost. But we're not going to go there. That's in other videos I do. I talk more about that in the community. Right now, all you want to do is make sure you have your garden, get rid of any weeds. If you have weeds, ideally, what you want to do is you want to cut them rather than take the roots. Down underneath here are the microbes, and they're absolutely amazing, and they're the ones that are going to give the nutrients to your salad. Once you've got that, the next part is planting. So let's go and do that. So you've prepared the bed, now it's time for planting. As you plant, you may change a little things. When you're there live, sometimes you notice and you have a realization, oh, actually I'm going to change it around. That's fine. What you need to do is make sure you've got little paddle pop sticks that you can write what it is, what's the date that you planted it, and put it next to your seed. So you've got your seeds. I've got kidney beans and tomatoes in here. The bigger the bean or the bigger the seed, it can go a little bit deeper. The smaller the seed, it's more on the surface. Either way, it has to be covered by soil. So you've got here, you're going to pull away your mulch. And you've got your compost nice in there. Then you're going to pop your seed in at a deep level, make sure it's covered, and then pop your paddle pop stick with the date and what it was. So we're just going to put these tomatoes in here just a little bit. There we go, and that says tomato. So with seedlings, they're a little bit, you want to be super delicate. Not everything can be a seedling to start with. I recommend checking whether it has to be directly seeded or you can transplant it. Some vegetables, some things will not last by transplanting it. But if you've got this, you'll be early in the morning, you're going to pull here, you've got to be super careful of the roots as much as possible. Create a little hole. You may want to water it a little bit before, especially with seedlings. You don't really want to be watering that after. So pop that in really gently. Pop the soil around. Try not to compact too much, enough that it holds itself, but you don't want to really compress the roots so that they have, especially if you do have more of a clay soil. But if you're up in the compost here, it's all good. Pop this around. Then, as I said, you're going to water these seeds, and you are ready for the next step, which is one of my favorites. To me, it's more of a meditation. That is maintaining, observing, and interacting. We've just planted everything. Now, over the next couple of months, this is the part where you get to just enjoy the garden. You're going to maintain, so you're going to do a bit of watering. Maybe you're create a little meditation process. You're going to come into the garden early in the morning or early in the afternoon or late in the afternoon and do your watering. You don't want to do it midday. It gets a bit too hot for yourself and the plants. And try and water and maintain at the root level. Don't water over the top of plants. Often if there's any issues, if you water on the top, it can spread those issues. The other thing I like to talk about in this maintain level is the first principle of permaculture, which is observe and interact. This is my favorite. I love to come into the garden in the morning when it's quiet, everything is so peaceful, and have a look around and observe what insects are landing where. How is my fruit going? I've just seen that there's something that's been nibbling it. That must mean that this zucchini is ready. I'm gonna pick that. Then I might be checking, okay, the flowers are out with the stevia. Let's check the stevia. This comfrey's looking great. Maybe I'm going to use some of this for some compost to cut it back so it stops killing off the stevia. You're just going to observe. You don't need to know anything. What's going to happen is your brain is going to start to collate all the information. It's going to start to see patterns. And it doesn't matter that you don't know much about gardening. If you don't, you're going to start to pick up the patterns. You can reach out into a community. If you're part of the Thriving with Nature community, of course, this is my favorite part, is discussing, oh, I've noticed this is happening. I've noticed this is happening. Has that happened to anyone else? It's really kind of cool. So maintain, observe, and interact. For those of you who are growing salads, lettuce, radish, kale, those kind of things will be ready in about 28 days. After the first month of planting, you'll be able to start to take a leaf here and there and add it into a bit of salad or onto a sandwich or something. That's when you're like, ooh, it's starting to build. I'm starting to grow a full plate. Then we get to step 7, which is the harvesting. All right, thanks, Hayley. All right, she just gave me that zucchini over there. She's so clever. Harvesting, this is the best part, and this will happen over time. It's not all going to be on day 50 or day 90. Over time, things will start to be ready. So right now in the garden, we've got an eggplant, as you can see. I can harvest some red sorrel. We've got some red sorrel. We've got some chives. Over here, we've got some parsley and some tomatoes. Look at these tomatoes. I'll come and show you in a second. And some parsley. Hang on, let's go up there. We've got some spring onion. We've got some celery, which is like baby celery. We've got some other cherry tomatoes here. We've got golden cherry tomatoes. Look at this. We've got some Chinese kale, or Chinese cabbage. And some more red tomatoes, some sawtooth coriander leaf over here. Look at this. This is just from walking through the garden now as you go. So basically, let's get this one. There we go. So harvesting is just one of the most rewarding, but it'll be that day when you're waiting for that final piece. For me, it was the cucumber, and you knew that that was a complete full plate of food. When you sit down and eat that, you want to be super mindful, super grateful, and you won't help but feel that because of all the love and attention you've given. And it's not much, a little bit of morning watering, a little afternoon watering, and that's it. As long as you've got your eye on it each day, just having a look, create a meditation practice around it, and with less than 90 days you're going to have a full salad, a full stir fry, or a full soup, which is super exciting. Now for that free gift that I was going to give you, but let's go back to the nursery and talk about it. We've got chives, we've got parsley, we've got red sorrel, we've got some spring onions, we've got Chinese cabbage, kale, sawtooth coriander, we've got a bit of chocos for the stir fry, and so much, and lettuce and everything here. So there you go. This is super, super exciting. And do you know what the best thing is? Once you get your first plate of salad, the very next day you can go get another one because it's going to be growing more and more. You're going to just be taking a leaf here and there. You don't have to go buy a whole clump of lettuce, eat a couple of leaves, and then it dies in the fridge. This is going to be here and it's going to be alive, and you're going to pick it straight away. The nutrients, the taste and flavor of picking and within an hour eating that food is absolutely nothing compares to it. So is the Grow Your Own Plate Challenge. It's a 90-day challenge to grow your own food in less than 90 days, a full plate of salad, stir fry, or soup. Plus, there's going to be the monthly recipe garden planner that helps you go through that process I just did with finding the plants, finding how to do it, draw it up, and then plant it with extra tips along the way. So there you go. Come join me, go grab a guide, and I can't wait to see what you grow in your garden in less than 90 days. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed it and got value out of it. Hit subscribe, and please share with someone who you think you could do your 90-day challenge with and grow your own full plate of food. Thank you. Happy thriving.